Hey out there, my fellow card collectors. I haven't made a video in a few days, which is unlike me. I've been a little blah about the hobby lately. I get down every once in a while with the crap I see. I want to send out special prayers, well wishes to my man, Pepino Man. He's going through some stuff. I was watching his video and he said something that I've said often. I've been saying for a while. And he said something along the lines of he doesn't like the hobby now. He likes collecting, but he doesn't like the hobby. And he views those as two completely separate things. And I feel the exact same way. The hobby is the collective, what goes on out there. But collecting is very private, very personal. Now, when you collect, you can't just ignore the hobby. Everything that happens in the hobby affects all of us. So I echo his statement there. And Pepino's a wise man. I take a lot of things that he says, makes me think in a new way. And he and I tend to agree on a lot of things. And I don't know where this is going to go right now. I do have some cards to show you, some pickups. I haven't been buying a whole lot. I have really been just enjoying buying cheap things, working on some cheap sets, picking up some fun items, things that I like. So I haven't been making any big pickups. And I've been looking at these cards and I'm just like, I don't want to pay that for them. I feel like the whole hobby's turned into flippers, everybody trying to make a buck off of me. You see, all the time, I have somebody who sends me auctions and he'll see cards for sale and then he'll send me the auction. It happened last week or 2 weeks ago. And, somebody bought it for a decent price and then they're selling it for $1,000 more or even more than that sometimes. And it's just like, I call it the hot potato market, the hot potato era. We have different names for different eras. I call this the hot potato era, where as soon as you have a card, you're moving it on to the next person. And I see all these videos talking about collecting, but they're not talking about collecting. They're talking about investing or flipping. And they say how you should collect, what you should collect. And they're not talking about collecting. When you collect, everybody tells you should collect what you love. Sure. But if you're investing, you shouldn't collect what you love. You should collect what other people love. It's a totally different thing. But, I got to the point where I was paying up for a lot of cards at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. Just because that's where the card prices are. And I've wanted these cards and I finally bit the bullet. I've never wanted to pay a lot of money for cards. And I finally did it. And I'm to the point now where I'm just rewarding flippers at this point, who are, buying these cards, advertising that they bought these cards, they're going to be for sale soon. Sometimes they're selling them before they even receive them. And they're really jacking the prices way up. I have often mentioned, I see cards sell on eBay I'm watching, and the next, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they're back up there for twice as much money. It's just absurd. And I refuse to keep paying up for these. So that's a me thing. That's a me problem. So I've been having a lot of fun putting together old Kellogg sets and, working on them. I work on a whole bunch of sets at the same time. But I don't know, do you guys ever get frustrated with the hobby? I talk to other collectors, other YouTubers even, and, I'm not alone in this. I have seen a lot of channels fall by the wayside. I don't see videos coming out. I don't see as many videos coming out. I see people selling their collections or downsizing their collections or leaving the hobby altogether. This seems to be picking up. Because when the hobby gets ugly and overpriced or high-priced, overpriced is subjective, high-priced, where you can't afford boxes of new cards, or you don't want to pay that because you're not going to get anything out of it. If you want to see something shameful, really, do some searches on whatnot scammers and see what comes up. The crap that is out there. It's like somebody forgot to turn their camera off after a break, and they're on there. Well, one guy's telling the other guy, just cancel the order if you didn't get the price you wanted. Somebody's chastising their customers because the auction didn't go high enough. There are people taking cards off camera, taking out the hits, replacing it, bringing it back up. I mean, it's craziness what goes on whatnot. Not to mention the foul language, pedophilia talk. And, you know, the saddest part is the largest companies in our hobby embrace these guys. They seem to embrace the scammers and bad actors. And it's just hard to watch sometimes. Now, when you give your opinion on social media, you get people that come at you and they have real low IQ arguments. You're stupid. You're old. Hey, boomer. Stay off my lawn. All this stupid stuff. First of all, these people, they're not very intelligent because they don't know what the era is for a boomer. I'm not a boomer. I'm a Generation Xer, the greatest generation in history. Now, let's use an analogy for stay off your lawn. This is such a cliche, stupid thing. So I have people walk their dogs and they pee and poop on my yard. Am I supposed to like that? Conversely, I'll have kids come through the yard every once in a while. You know, cut through the yard. I don't care. If we're looking at the hobby, there are certain things that happen. You should want them to stay off your lawn. You should want the scammers to stay off your lawn. I mean, come on. I have dogs pooping and peeing. I just fertilized or I just planted grass seed. Why would I like that? Yeah, stay off my lawn. These are such low IQ arguments that's all somebody has to say. And you know, I never speak badly about anybody. I never call anybody out. I never say a bad word about anybody. But sometimes if you give your opinion or your opinion differs from somebody that has a cult-like following, people take it personally, like I'm talking to them. I'm not talking to you. It's my opinion. It's how I think. Because I give my opinion, you don't have to take it as an offense to you and leave hate comments. And why do people even leave hate comments? What is this all about with social media? I saw a guy post, he pulled the Johnny Ray Barry Bonds error card. And he posted it on Facebook. He was so excited that he pulled it. And he said, I pulled this gem. This is a gem. And somebody said, oh, you don't know the hobby terms. That's not gem. That's far from gem. Gem means a grade of a card. You can't use the term. It's a gem. Come on, man. PSA doesn't grade a card a gem. It grades it gem mint. A gem is called English. It's the English language. We use it all the time. Gem mint is a grade. There's a difference. But, coming at people, you post your cards on social media, people will tear them apart. Oh, that's an old slab. Oh, that would never get that grade today. I'll show a card and, oh, sorry for you. That wouldn't be an 8 today. That would be a 5. It's so absurd. But why do people leave hate comments? Stupid comments. You're stupid. This is stupid. Just move on. I never leave hate comments. I see all kind of videos. I might not like the message. I move on. I don't even give it a thumbs down. I just move on. If people are, saying things that, I don't like to hear or whatever, I'll then unsubscribe after a few videos. So unsubscribe or move on. Why do you feel the need to put people down? I'm secure with myself. I know what age I am. I know who I am. I know what my collection is. You're not going to make me feel bad about myself, because that's all it is. When you put somebody else down, you're just trying to make yourself feel better because you have low self-esteem. Your wife probably craps all over you. Your kids talk back to you. You have some badness in your life that makes you a hater. When I was in business, and when I was, flying a lot, and people would, let's use the airline analogy. One time I was living down in the Lauderdale area, and I was flying up to DC. I had a family thing in the morning. So I get to the Atlanta airport. There's bad weather. There's delays everywhere. The customer service lines are forever. The lines at the ticketing counters are forever, the gates. And everybody's angry. You can't get through to the 800 number. And they kept delaying until finally they closed the airport. I had never seen that before. Now it is really late at night. I am stuck there for the night. The function is first thing in the morning, so I'm going to miss it. And so I just want to go back to Lauderdale. I just want to go home. And everybody's up there, and they're screaming at the ticketing agents at the gate. And I go up, and I just throw myself at the mercy. I'm very nice to the guy when I finally get up there. And I'm like, look, at this point, I just want to go home. Is there anything you can do? I can't get through to the 800 line. And he's like, well, standby is 9 people deep. And chances are you're not getting on. I'm like, well, go ahead, put me on standby. Like, I'm very polite to the guy. Because I was in the travel business. I know what it's like. They blame you for everything. And he handed me what I thought was a standby ticket. And I'm like, what do you think the chances are I'm going to get on this flight? And he goes, look at your ticket. And he had given me a ticket. He put me ahead of 9 people. You get more bees with honey. But when I see somebody screaming at a waitress or treating people badly, that's my first thought is, man, this person must have a miserable home life. He probably gets it from his boss, he gets it from his wife, he gets it from his kids, and this is the only time he has power over some poor waitress that he's, treating like crap. And I think social media brings that out because, man, there's a lot of anger and hate on social media these days, don't you think? Don't you think? And that's the good part of our hobby community, is all the goodness that goes around. All the caring that goes around, sending gifts, doing nice things for people, giving channel shoutouts. Because us collector channels, we're not what people want to watch. We're not what people want to watch. People don't want to see cards anymore. They want to hear about drama. They want to see somebody spending $50,000 at a card show, telling you what to invest in, that kind of thing. And it just gets hard to watch sometimes. But the hobby affects us all. When you see what's going on Whatnot and the scammers, and there was just, at Strongsville, a hotel worker stole a very expensive box of cards. When he saw that it was sports cards, he stole it, got arrested in Strongsville. And you see at card shows, people ripping people off, pistol whipping. This hobby, it's like when there's quick money to be made. A lot of these guys, they're choosing this hobby rather than drug dealing. Because here, you can take from collectors legally You know, they're making money hand over fist. And they get rewarded for their bad behavior. They get rewarded by the top companies in our hobby. They get rewarded by everybody who's participating. They could steal cards off camera, hide cards, replace them, and people still buy into their breaks. It's just unbelievable to me. It's really unbelievable. Let me show you some cards. Back in the day, I used to collect starting lineups, and I always wanted to have an autographed one. So I picked up a Mariano Rivera autographed starting lineup. And I understand that this is actually an early signature of his. I don't know much about his signatures, but that's what I understand. I got this ticket, and this is from 1967, Pirates-Dodgers. Clemente had like 2 hits, scored a run, had an RBI in this game. Every once in a while, it's fun to get an old ticket. I picked up one of these, T201 Mecha Double Folders, and this is Fred Clark, manager, player, Hall of Famer for those great early Pittsburgh Pirate teams. I love this set. I hadn't picked one up in a long time, and this kind of stuff is so cheap. You know, if you're not buying the big iconic cards, it is unbelievable how cheap cards have gotten. This is O-Pee-Chee, 1971 Willie Stargell. Of course, the 71 O-Pee-Chee backs are fantastic. This is an old Cracker Jack card. And it's 4 of those little cards in an uncut sheet there. It has Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds. Got this Vern Stevens, 51 tops, red back. Got this Vern Stevens too, 47 to 66 exhibits, and this cool Dom DiMaggio. Got a 1971 Kellogg's, tough Kellogg's, Al Kaline. And finally got the Willie Mays. I hate those giant numbers, so I put my label over them. Here is a Eddie Murray Kellogg's rookie card. Finally got one as I'm working on these sets a little bit. Here's a Dave Parker. This is a great 1959 Granny Hamner. Cool name, cool card. Needed that for my set. Here's a Kellogg's Goose Gossage. Here's a great Sudden Sam McDowell. '72. I needed the Juan Marichal for my '69 Deco Edge. Got a Star Junior card here. 1976, Jose Cruz. He was really good when I was growing up. How about a sportscaster, Nolan Ryan? What a cool card. I have a whole box of these. These are great to get signed, too. So, that's what I have to show you. What are your thoughts on the modern hobby? Are you selling your cards off? Are you leaving the hobby? Are you getting frustrated and making less videos or stop making videos? I don't know. You know, a while back, a few months ago, I had done a video basically saying to everybody, let's step up our game and make some better videos, you know? And I gotta say, many of you have really done that. I want to send a special shout out to Sammy Thunder. His latest videos have been so professional and awesome. And I've tried to step them up with my Behind the Videos series and just showcase some fellow collectors and their behind the scenes, what they do when they're not on camera. And everybody's taken it in a different direction, and they've been great. I made a playlist. If you want to check it out, they're all in a row. You can binge watch them if you want. I have to tell you, I have more fun showing other collectors than I do making my own videos. It's been really rewarding and fun to put those together. And hopefully I'll have some more soon. But that's what I have for you. Thanks for listening to me. I got to go.